Good morning everybody. I thought I'd give you a quick squidge rain because a few people's asked me about things. So the easiest option for me is to do a quick squidge rain the plot. So off we go. Now then, the daffodils are finished and now my bluebells are out, so I'm pleased with that. And we've got flowers on our rosemary there. So let's go rain the plot. We've got now that my cherry tree is in full blossom, look. Most of the bulbs that I had in pots here are finished now. So I've got to decide on what I'm going to do now for colour. Mostly it's going to be chrysanthemums. Then today I'm going to plant out my sweet corn. It's a little bit early, but the next fortnight it's good weather forecast, so hopefully, and then after that, well, we'll be into May. And in the cold frame, there's nothing new. There's just one lettuce which is going to seed. In the cosy bit, I've got a little bit of colour. Right, in the greenhouse, it's looking scruffy because I haven't put much in here just yet. There's what was to be Christmas potatoes, but the cold was so intense it knocked them back and they re-sprouted. So at some time or another I can tip them out. And then there's plenty of colour in here because they all think the spring's a bit further on in the greenhouse, of course. There's my grapevine that I took from a root because it's from a grafted grape, and the root was what it was grafted to. And I've been doing experiments with grafting to it other grapes. I've been successful 2 or 3 times now. So but I'm not taking credit for it because I reckon I've done it 20 times, and out of the 20 times I've had about 3 take. Then I've got some peppers coming on nicely here, look, and a cutting from a fig twig. Then I brought through the winter, which is really unusual, 1 pepper. I'm going to put that now in the soil, but keep it in the greenhouse, but that's going to go in the soil. The carrots that I've brought through the winter, we've had a few carrots from them through the winter, so I'm quite pleased with it, but I think they've just about had it now, so that lot will get tipped out. Right, going on rain. I've got leeks there ready to go in. Lots more cuttings of grapes that they're just straight cuttings, but whether they're going to come to anything or not, I don't know. Right, onwards and round. The sweet peas, I've put sweet peas in here, but they haven't grown. Just seeds. They haven't grown. That's my shallots. They're looking okay, and that's the last of that bit of spinach. Then through here, which is going to be sweet peas again this year. I know it's not usual for me to grow the same thing twice, but I just like sweet peas, and it's nice to have the colour just here. There's a couple have come up there, look, just yeah, a couple. So oh well, we might be lucky, but I've got some at home that I'm growing. Then the early potatoes, these have been in now for probably 2 weeks. They're not showing yet, obviously, because they've only been in a couple of weeks. So onwards and round. Then the carrots in the carrot frame, they're all coming up. Look at this. There's 3 rows there. I will then put another row in right through the middle of those. Those are obviously too thick. I can't let them grow like that, so I should be thinning those out big time. Then my peas are all doing ever so well, and I've put sticks in. I put some beans in. These are French climbing beans. They're from a really old packet. When I say really old packet, you could hardly read it. It was something I found in the shed up high. and I put them straight in the green. Of course, it's got to be last month now. But look, they're coming up, so I reckon I could just very carefully dig a couple of them up and move them to share them out, and I think I'm going to end up with some early beans. I did have this sheet of glass over them. I've put in 2 rows of beetroot, and there's more peas there, look. Yeah, I mean, pot of mint. The reason I grow mint in pots is I can move it around and put it where I want to discourage things that don't like mint, mostly like the fox. That's what these snakes are for. This one's got covered in lime, but there, you don't like them. And my broad beans, they're doing excellent. Well, this is the later, well, I sowed these before Christmas, and I put them out, I can't remember now, but the ones I sowed earlier didn't do very well at all. They got attacked by slugs and snails, and probably puppy dog tails as well, and they didn't survive very well at all. And the potatoes that I'm growing in pots here, despite the fact that they are covered a little bit, they got hit by the frost. Not just the frost, but the cold as well. But they've all sent out new shoots, look. So I'll probably get something on them. The only reason I'll grow them in pots is because they were self-setters or volunteer ones that I didn't want to just destroy them. So I dug them up and put them in pots. So there we go. Grapevines are just beginning to show. And then, oh, that was that sprate plant. I leave them to flower because the bees love the flowers. The asparagus that I've got growing through here isn't showing anything yet. And I'm just hoping that it did survive the winter because it really was wet. And I'm wondering if they haven't damped off. Then this grapevine here is showing good. That's the Bacchus. Right. And I've made myself a new compost heap using those pallet frames. And then this one did have a crawly in it. I'm not sure what, but it looked to me like it could have been a rat. And the solution with rats is to leave the lid off, and then the rain gets in and they're not quite so happy then. And then I've limed the areas where I'm going to be growing cabbages and stuff. This compost heap, this one is now full, so I don't need to do any more of that then, do I? I've just covered it with wire. That's to stop the wind from blowing the straw off. Asparagus. This asparagus is doing good. All of these twigs here are the cuttings from the gooseberry bushes. It keeps the fox off. For some reason the fox wheeze on my asparagus. I don't know why. I think it's sort of territorial thing, but it stinks. But since I've been putting these prunings on here from the various fruit trees, especially the spiky ones, he hasn't done it. They don't like, for some reason, eat too. The cat don't like ordinary bottles. And there's an asparagus there, look. That's ready to pick, that one. And I've had several really good pickings. Then potatoes in the bath. These were early potatoes. They're just beginning to show. Obviously because the whole thing, especially with the black around the outside, it keeps the temperature up. So they think it's a bit later on in the spring. And then all these bits of guttering, that is to catch the meagre bit of rain that we've had in the last few months, even though I will water through. All of that's in there is seaweed and horse poo, and then underneath I've got a container which catches it, that catches the dribbles, and then I'll pour it into that 5-gallon can, and then that gives me a high nitrogen and chemical feed. Then my plum trees in full leaf, look. And we come along the other side. That's the Perpetual Leeks growing there. I'm quite pleased with them actually. They don't grow big and fat. When I say that, there's a couple there, look, covered with snails, but there's a couple there, look, and they're not too bad. I can dig them up, take the fat ones, and then put the thinner ones back in again. Then this was my cabbage bed, and that's got they've all gone to seed now. That was sprouts, and I've left them go. See, look at them covered with snails. I think those might be feeding fishes in a minute. So I've left them to go to flower because the bees love the flowers. Then my strawberry bed, they're looking good. It's looking like there's even flowers on them, look. And those onions, I put them in last year. They're just bits of rubbish. I put them in there because the cat was using it to poo on, and he don't like the smell of onions, so there. And then this was the compost bin, and I've now changed it into a couple of beds. I'm not quite sure what I'm going to use them for yet, though. Watching Gardener's World last night, the lady there, she was creating a mushroom bed. That might be worth doing. Then me fig tree here is just beginning to show life. I'm really not sure. I think I should have just pulled all these figs off, but well, we'll see. Then these are me potatoes. These are me main crop. These are the Myras. Those went in last week. Then I've got this bed is ready for something. Hold on a minute, we'll have a look. I think it's courgettes. Ah yeah, courgettes. What I've done is I've labelled the beds. So that's just to remind me, so that I can remember not to have done stuff. You know, put the same thing in the same bed again. And these are red onions, and they're all doing well. They're looking good. Look, there's lots of snails have come out. These were potatoes as well. These are the main crop. No, these are the earlies. And I've put a watering tube in. There's holes in this tube, spaced out holes. So that I can just connect the hose to that, and then I'm watering it under the ground, not on the top of the ground, where it just dries out anyway. There's another potato in a bin, look. Then there's my Sanshu onions, the garlics. That's your Isle of Wight garlic is this side, and then the giant garlic or elephant garlic on the other side. And there's a potato I missed by the look of it. Then my strawberry bed up here. These are just Add Cream, they're called. They're excellent. And the thing with them is they fruit all through the summer. And of course they're up here in this tray. I have to keep it watered, of course, but they're up in this tray to keep the snails off, and it seems to be working, so I'm pleased with that. Then my fruit bushes are all in flower, not in flower. They're all in, well, they are actually. The flowers have just begun coming, but they're all in leaf. Pear tree, it's got blossom on. The peach tree has got little mini peaches on it. So I'm really pleased with that. There's two there. There's a double one, look. Oh, where are we? There we go. There. So I'm happy with that. And apple tree, there's another potato there. That one, that little shelter there, which is enough to keep the frost off of that one. And I think the black bin has also kept that one didn't freeze up. There's another one of my attempts to grow strawberries that keeps the snails away, and that works too. Not just snails, woodlice as well. They can be a real pest with strawberries, but that is a lot of effort, but it's worth it. Then this bed here is where the sweet corn's going to go, but also I'm going to grow the sweet corn, but I'm also going to grow the squash here, because they benefit from a bit of shade from the sweet corn. It's not too much shade because sweet corn grows long and thin, but but it's enough just to take the real midday sun off. Then the grapevines through the back here, the red ones, they're doing okay. Then pond, I've just seen something move in the pond. That looks like it needs a top up. Then this was my parsnip bed, all but finished now. There's a few odd parsnips still left in there to grow, to pull out. Gotta do that. Then this is my wildflower bed. The trouble with this wildflower bed is it's got couch grass in it. So I am now thinking that I'm going to have to dig that. I didn't want to. I wanted to leave it just to see what happened, because we had foxgloves and things growing and the sunflowers. But I think I'm going to have to pull that couch grass out. Otherwise it'll take over and it'll be couch grass more than anything. Yeah, bees are happy. As you can see, I've got 3 boxes on. 1, 2, 3 boxes. And that's because I left a box on that had honey in, because the bees are here for pollination, not for the honey. The honey's a bonus. The honey that was in the box was really thick, so I've left it on to see them through the winter, and that's exactly what it has done. And then last week I put a clean box on the top. Well, it was made out, it had supers in, foundation in, and then yesterday, that was only on there for just over a week, and then yesterday I had a quick look in, and they'd made it out already, and they were even storing honey. So I put another one on top. Well, not on top, I took that one and lifted it and put another one underneath it. So there we go. I've got potatoes growing through the back there in bins as well. So lots of potatoes. So there we go. Nice, quick, early morning rain the site, rain the plot. Everything looking good. It's time now. That's what I should have done, was giving you a quick look round. Alright, let's nip back to the beginning and I'll give you a quick look round what I've got growing at home. I've still got the 4 peppers on the windowsill. There we go. So if you haven't got a greenhouse, it's as good a way of growing peppers as any. So there we go. There's not much in the propagator at the moment, even though I've got it switched on. It's because I've sown another lot of peppers. So let's look in the greenhouse. Right, into the greenhouse. Ooh, what's the temperature in here at the moment? Oh my goodness me, it's just 18 degrees, which is comfortable. I've got all sorts in here. I've got lots of peas. Marrows, courgettes, melons, in other words, all sorts of things. Sweet peas. I've still got some onions there. Oh, and a few sunflowers. So I've got quite a bit in here. There's the cucumbers. And there's quite a bit up there as well. So you see, everything's going nicely in here, and all of this is going to stay in here now for probably another week or 2. Then we'll be into May, and then I should start putting it out to harden off. I do leave the door open at night time unless there's going to be a frost. Okay, back to the allotment. So bye for now. Stay safe, be careful. Do have a nice summer. I'll see you in the summer. Bye.